all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh. Ba'asham Yahweh Ba'asham Rakah, double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great stone, and salutations to all you sincere Jam. Once again, it's your brother Abawan back again with another video, and I didn't really have any inspiration to do any video. I really wanted to do a video, but nothing is coming in the spirit. So I decided to just beat up on the Christians a little bit, go back to old reliable. You can always trust Waki Plantation Christianity to have some false doctrine that you can use as an excuse to make a video. And here we have one right here, ancient Hebrew conception of the universe. And according to these Waki Christians, especially these Christian scholars, they believe that in the ancient world, right, our forefathers had this belief of what the heavens, the earth, and under the earth, looked like and what they were like. And this picture right here that you see on my screen is a depiction of that. Okay, and before I continue, I want to just get this preset and let's get that. And these are all just cunningly devised fables. So this is the book of First Timothy 1, verse 4. Neither give heed to fables and endless genealogies, which minister questions, rather than godly edifying, which is in faith, so do. Let me also get the book of First Timothy, the fourth chapter. But refuse profane and old wives' fables, and exercise thyself rather unto godliness. And this description of the universe of the world is not in the scriptures, right? Because what you have right here is, if you see the image and you see what it looks like, you see that it's not, it's basically a flat earth, which is off, because even the scriptures tells you that the earth is round, okay? Because the scripture talks about the four corners of the earth. Let me get that. Maybe that's how it goes. So like, yeah, I'm such an idiot. I meant to say the circle of the earth. I meant to go and say corners. I forgot that corners can be also it can be also flat instead of round. I meant to say circle of the earth, not corners. Salakia. Here it is. Isaiah 40, verse 22. It is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth, and the inhabitants thereof are as grasshoppers, that stretcheth out the heavens as a curtain, and spreadeth them out as a tent to dwell in. Alright. And that shows you right there that let's get another. You know what? Let me just think. I wanted to get it. I wanted to continue from the top, but I've already gotten that preset, so let me just leave it at that. And basically, that shows you that the Earth is actually round. Because let's go to this word right here in the blue letter for circle. Okay, circle, and the word is hag or harag. Yeah, I believe that should be the ra. I'm not really sure, so I'm just going to say hag. I read circle, circuit, compass, vaults of the heavens. Okay, and I have this idea again, once again, vault of the heavens, and it reads to encircle, encompass, describe a circle, draw around, make a circle, to encircle, encompass. That shows you that basically you can basically like the quality of a sphere. You can start from one point of the sphere and walk in any direction on that sphere and still come back to your starting point, because the earth is round. If you move from one place to the other, you don't meet the end of, there is no end of the world, but the earth is in a complete circle. Okay, the earth is in a complete circle. And that's exactly what the scripture tells you about the earth. And the scriptures also tells you that the heavens, okay, which is the atmosphere and even outer space, not only is it void, but it is infinite. Let's get that. Let's get that. That should be the book of Job. Here it is. So this is the book of Job 26. Okay, Job 26, verse 7. Let's start from the top. Let's get the main point. Job 26, verse 7. He stretcheth out the north over the empty place. He hangeth the earth upon nothing. And that's right there, that is self-explanatory. That's your gravity, that you're hanging the earth in outer space, because it's just the scripture saying he hanged the earth upon nothing. And if we go into this word nothing in the blue letter, and these are two precepts right there that just give you to show you that the scriptures knows, okay, that even the scriptures tells you about the nature of the universe and the nature of outer space or outside of the earth, the atmosphere and the heavens, and how they appear, and the earth as well and how it appears. So this is the word right here, Baal Yama, Baal Yama. That's the Ba, the La, the Ya, the Ma, and the Ha. So something like Baal Yama, because it's a compound word meaning to remove something. Okay, and this word is from the two words Baal, which is Strong's H4100, Ma, which is what kind, what, whatsoever. So that is basically going into something. Okay, and this word here is to wear out, without, or basically the word means without, no or not having, which is Bala'a or Bala'a. Okay, so it's what to be Bala'a Ma, Bala'a Yama, Bala'a Yama. No, Bala Yama. That's that, yeah. But oh yeah, this is the ya, not the ah. I always get those two mixed up. But it's the ya, not the ah. Bal Yama, which means nothing. Okay, or yeah, which means nothing. So basically, no stain is in it. No something without something, without a thing, and that's exactly what the earth is hanged up, or the earth is okay upon. The earth is hung upon. I don't know the term to use, but basically, when you go out of the earth, you see the void of space, and in outer space, you know that there is no. According to Esau, Edom, at least, you hear that there is nothing there. So it is a complete void, no air, no gas, no liquid, no solid, no nothing. It's completely void. It's a vacuum. Okay, and what that means is it has nothing, which is exactly what the scriptures say, that the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahweh hanged the earth, okay, upon nothing. And let's see what the word for earth is in the Blue Letter as well. Just think, and the word is Arataza. That means the earth, the land, the whole earth. Okay, Strong's H776. Arataza. And that's what the earth is, the the Ra, and the Taza. So that's what the earth is. Okay. So it's not that the earth is inside the firmament, inside the same firmament. And you see the picture right here. The waters above firmament and the great deep. It's not that the earth is inside these waters above firmament and the great deep, or the earth is inside waters. Okay, but rather the earth is hanged in the vacuum of space, which space can be compared to waters as well. Because when the scriptures talk about the firmaments above in the book of Genesis, which is where these Christians will just open up, they'll read it and they'll see, firmament above, waters above the earth, and they'll just run with that. But what he's actually talking about is outer space, and let's get this. Genesis 1, verse 6. And the Most High said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. Right, so there is a division in the there are two firmaments that were created by the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushua to divide the waters from the water. And that should tell you that there is a difference between those waters. So there's a difference between the waters which you see in the heavens and the waters that are on the earth as well. So let's get that. The word firmament here is Rakwaya. Rakwaya. And the word is always Mayam. But anyway, the word firmament here is Rakwaya. So firmaments, let's get that. Strong's H7549. Strong's H7549. Extended surface. Expands firmament. Expands firmament or vault of heaven, supporting waters above. Considered by Hebrews as solid and supporting waters above. And you see that even the blue letter is giving you the same um fable, right? The same mythology that this image right here is giving you. That there is a firmament, like a massive surface, something that just a massive surface in the sky that is blocking waters that has waters, you know, at the other side, and is holding back those waters at the other side, which is force. Okay, because there is no massive firmament like that or a dome above the earth, because a lot of flat earthers do say that there is a dome above the earth, which is not the case. Okay, now this firmament, you have to be writing this one. Is difficult for me to pronounce. It could just be referring to definitely the atmosphere, right? You have the atmosphere, the Earth's atmosphere, where basically the atmosphere before you go out into outer space. Because you have the atmosphere, of course, the air pressure will be decreasing as you are going further and further out into outer space. But as soon as you enter the Earth's atmosphere, you have gas, you have oxygen, you can breathe, which is why you have all these meteors. As soon as they enter the Earth's atmosphere, they begin to burn up because at the speed that they are moving, it's combusting. Let me not get scientific. Let me just leave it at that. So Genesis 1 verse 8. And the Most High, Yahweh Hashem Yahshai, called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day. So the heaven is referring to the firmament above, and now you know these Christians, they believe that that firmament above was referring to waters, just like the waters in the sea, but the waters is actually referring to is the heavens, okay, which is outer space. That's why in the Hebrew the word for heaven is Bashamayam, which means of the waters, pertaining to the waters. So basically, in the understanding of the men of the ancient world, you know, knowing what outer space was and how it looked, they compared it or they likened it to water. If you look at the sea, especially the sea at night, you see how the water just, you can actually draw that in parallel with the way the water shines sometimes. You're looking like the night sky, and the water just reflects the night sky, right? That's why they call it. That's why it was. That's probably why it was referred to as the firmament above, or the waters above. Okay, let's continue with this. So without, let me just read some of this. Read some of the what was typed beside this image. Ancient Hebrew conception of the universe. The ancient Israelites divided the world into heaven, earth, sea, and the underworld. Which of course the underworld is now going into, proto hell. And when I mean proto hell, I mean the first hell, right? The beginning of hell. Because now they want to say that Sheol, which is in the Old Testament, right? Sheol being the quote unquote land of the dead, which of course is showing you right there. That Sheol, just seeing this image and seeing Sheol under the earth should give you an idea of where this ideology comes from, where this idea of this Hebrew conception of the universe comes from. It doesn't come from the ancient world. It doesn't come from the scriptures. It comes from Greco-Roman Wakitaki plantation Christianity, because the concept of hell being a place where you burn for all eternity actually comes from the Greek and Roman mythology. That's why you have the term Hades, you have the term hell as well, because hell is a Greek word referring to Hades, okay, and Hades is the place where they say the soul of the damned go and burn for all eternity according to Greek and Roman mythology. So this should show you that this isn't the structure of how our ancestors or our forefathers in the ancient world saw the universe, rather how the Greeks did, okay, because what you find out is that a lot of the beliefs and customs and practices of Wakitaki plantation Christianity is simply a Greek twist to the scriptures, basically just that it's a Greek religion, it's a Greco-Roman religion that is based off the scriptures. Okay, that's why the things that the Christians teach are so far removed from the actual scriptures that it's sometimes shocking. But continuing the reading, the first paragraph. They view the sky as a vault resting on foundations, perhaps mountains with doors and windows that let the rain. God dwelt above the sky, hidden in cloud majesty. Right. So basically, they are saying that the Most High was dwelling in a Mount Olympus like place. Basically, he was saying how Bashan was dwelling in the clouds, hidden in the cloud, was dwelling above the sky, hidden in the clouds and majesty, which is of course not what the scriptures say, because you read that precept that heaven cannot even contain the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. And also the scriptures that also we read the same scriptures that saying that stretcheth, that the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Let me calm down a little bit. I'm getting a little excited here. The precepts are going forth, but the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushai stretcheth the heavens like a curtain. Okay, let's get that. Isaiah 40, verse 22. It is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth, the round world, and the inhabitants thereof are as grasshoppers, that stretcheth out the heavens as a curtain, and spreadeth them out as a tent to dwell in. That's basically going into the universe being near infinite and always constantly expanding. So even in the ancient times, our people knew that the universe was far beyond anything that they could imagine or see, which is why you have the Israelites always being compared to the sand of the seas and the stars of heaven. So our people in the ancient world knew that there was so much more to the heavens than just the sky and the clouds and a few stars and the sun and the moon. They knew that the universe was, that the heavens was far stretched out, farther than anything they could imagine. And even to this day, farther than anything, even with all your advancement in technology, farther than anything you could imagine. Next paragraph. The world was viewed as a disk floating on the waters, secured or moored by pillars. The earth was the only known domain. The realm beyond it was considered unknowable. And you see how these wacky tacky Christians, right, think, concerning the ancients and their understanding of the earth and the universe, where you had pillars, and this is all going into the flat earth theory, where the earth is basically like a disc, right, surrounded by a dome, right? But then it even goes beyond that. Instead of just a flat earth surrounded by a dome and then outer space, it now goes as far as to say, oh well, there is the underground, which is hell. No, not planet hell, but underground hell. Okay. Then of course, after the dome is the after the dome, there are waters, and then heaven, just straight up heaven, where the Most High is. So that's above the earth, which is not, how the scriptures describes heaven. Because first and foremost, the heavens are first described as the dwelling place of the Most High, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, and the angels. And secondly, there is also a kingdom of heaven, which is not a place that exists. It's not a place that exists in outer space, but rather it's a period of time from the end of Esau's kingdom to the rest of eternity. As is when we will have that kingdom of heaven. Okay, so the kingdom of heaven is not a place, but it's a period of time which our people will be in the kingdom. Well, but, and I don't really know what other precepts we get, because I basically gotten everything that goes into this, because to just be me just going to different precepts that all say the same thing, and or rather just going to precepts that I believe that Israel could have gotten these strange ideas from, because we go into this word Sheol. Let's get that. Let's see how many places in the scriptures talk about Sheol. I don't know how to type that, or just need. I guess I don't know how to type that. Sheol. I typed it right now. Sheol. Hold on, let me get this. It's weird I can't find the word for Sheol. Let me go to the DuckDuckGo. Let me go to the DuckDuckGo and DuckDuckGo and try to see what I can get where the word Sheol is used in the scriptures. It will be funny if the word Sheol is not even used in the actual KJV. Alright. Okay, yeah. So, okay. Now I remember, the word isn't actually used, rather it's used to refer to the grave or to death. Let's get that. So that is gray hairs. And it was the words of um, our forefather Jacob, right? And he was talking about this, right? Let's get this right here. It was a Jacob when this is a really long story, but after Joseph, you remember the story about Joseph being in Egypt and becoming a great governor in Egypt, and a famine happening all over the earth, or at least the known world at that time. And Jacob and the 10 patriarchs, okay, aside from Joseph and Benjamin, the 10 patriarchs, they had to travel all the way to Egypt in order to get food from the Egyptians and from Pharaoh. I'm sure you know how the story goes, and basically we're at the point where they came back and the governor of Egypt, which was Joseph in disguise, asked them to bring Benjamin so as Joseph could see him. And this is what Jacob replied with when they asked him if they could take Benjamin with him to Egypt. And he said, "My son shall not go down with you, for his brother is dead, and he is left alone. If mischief befall him by the way in which he go, then shall ye bring down my grey hairs with sorrow to the grave." Okay. And if we get this word for grave in the Hebrew, the word that you will see there is Sheol, or according to it, or Sha'awal. Sha'awal, which is how you see that word. But basically, Sheol, and it reads Sheol, underworld, grave, hell, pit. The underworld, Sheol, the Old Testament designation for the abode of the dead. Now, where in the scriptures does it say that Sheol, or the grave, is the abode for the dead? Right? But when you see the word for Sheol, let's get that seat right here: grave, hell, pit. Okay, and the word that is the grave, hell, pit. All right, so now people might say, "Oh well, see, it says hell right there." Once again, the word hell is a Greek word, and let's go and get that. Let's go and get that. The word hell is a Greek word, and if we do this, if we type in hell etymology, you will see that the word hell goes back to a Greek word. Okay, I also start looking for the oldest. Let me see, Middle English. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. And it reads, used in the KJV for Old Testament Hebrew Sheol and New Testament Greek Hades Gehenna, used figuratively for state of misery, any bad experience, at least since the late 14th century, as an expression of disgust. But what I'm looking for is where the word first came from. Okay. Okay, let me start from the top. Also, hell in Old English, hell, netherworld, abode of the dead, infernal regions, place of torment for the wicked after death. From Proto-Germanic, I don't know how to pronounce that word, but it looks like Haljo, the underworld. Source of Old Frisian, Old Saxon, Dutch, Norse, German, but no Proto-Germanic. But I'm not. I think okay. So the original use of the word hell doesn't go back to the Greek Empire. Okay, that was a mistake on my part. So it probably goes. The oldest is probably the Norse mythology, because I know that in Norse there is a god named Hel, and it's basically the same thing. The goddess of the underworld. You know, if you watch them Thor, I believe it was Ragnarok. I believe his sister's name was Hela, right? So let me just confirm that, which is where the word hell came from. But the word hell in the New Testament was used to refer to Hades, right? Let me make sure I got that right. Just want to make sure that I got the name of the character right. Hela. That's what I'm trying to do right now. Just trying to check that out real quick. Now this video might actually be longer than it is, but just this video might actually be longer than it's supposed to be. But you know what the scripture says? Make full proof of thy ministry. Okay? Yeah, the word is Hela. Case Blanchett, which was the main villainess of Thor. And she acted as Hela. Okay. So the word is Hela. Right, that was correct. So that means that the oldest, you know, origin for the word hell goes back to the Norse mythology, which is where you have the hell, where you have hell first being used. But hell goes back to the underworld, and the name and is named after the goddess of the underworld in Norse mythology, which is the same as the god of the underworld in Greek mythology, which is Hades, which is the same belief where the wicked go and burn in hell and are punished in hell for all eternity, but the scriptures does not have any such thing, especially in the Old Testament. Now you can see where some people might be confused in the New Testament when it talks about the lake of fire. But understand something, the lake of fire is far different from hell. Okay, that's a completely different topic. But when you see the word Sheol in the Old Testament, it refers to the grave. It refers to being dead and buried. You will just say, you know how Jake gets, you know how dramatic Jake is, you know how dramatic Jake is. Okay, they always like your Jake always likes to add extra to everything. If you've ever been around with some of your friends and they're telling a story, and they always exaggerate the story and always try to stretch some details a little bit. And it's the same thing here. Instead of just saying, "Oh, and I'm going to die," Jake will want to add a little extra to it, make it sound more, more than it actually is. That's why you have this show. I'm going to the underworld when all that actually means is that they're just going to die and be buried right 6 feet under. Okay, so now back to this image right here, which is a depiction of what Christians claim that people believed in, of the um, conception of the idea of the universe that people believed in the ancient world, which is completely off. Okay, and the reason why I'm speaking so heavily about this Sheol, which is considered hell, is because this hell is never mentioned in the Old Testament. In fact, hell is never used as a place of punishment or the underworld in the Old Testament. You only really see that in the New Testament, where it talks about, going to hell or going to hell, and the word that you see there is usually Gehenna, which is going into the Greek idea, or rather the Greek mythology concerning hell, right? But in the scriptures, when hell is mentioned, it just really means the grave. Okay, when it's talking about people dying, it means the grave. It means being put to death. So let me get this. I believe that should be the way the wicked ceaseth. I think that should be it. Where the wicked ceaseth. Let me get this precept. Here it is. So this is the book of Job 3, verse 11. Why died I not from the womb? Why did I not give up the ghost when I came out of the belly? Why did my knees prevent me, or why the breast that I should suck? For now should I have lain still and been quiet. I should have slept, then had I been at rest, with kings and counselors of the earth, which built desolate places for themselves, or with princes that had gold, who filled their house with silver, or as an hidden untimely birth had not been, as infants which never saw light. There the wicked cease from troubling, and there the weary be at rest. There the prisoner rest together, they hear not the voice of the oppressor. The small and great are there, and the servant is free from his master. This is speaking about the grave, which is death. Okay, which is speaking about the grave, which is speaking about the experience of death. That's why anytime anybody has the death experience or a near death experience, they always tell you the same thing, that they were at peace. Doesn't matter if they were a serial killer, if it was a freaking devil like Esau Edom, or a quote unquote good person, which of course that there is nobody good, but a quote unquote good person, even though they are all wicked, but they all say the same thing, that they were at peace. They had finally found peace. Because that's what it means when you die. You go to the spirit world, you go to be with the Father. There is no, oh, well, there's a separation now. This one goes to Sheol, this one goes to God. All right. So this image right here, going into the idea of what the world looked like according to the scriptures, because they'll say that, oh well, we use the scriptures to construct this world. This is what the world looks like according to the scripture, which is off because we just read the scriptures and you see, yes, we just read the scriptures and you see that the world was never described in this manner in the scriptures, but rather this is cunningly devised. These are cunningly devised fables used by this devil Esau Edom to sow confusion. Okay, this is a result of wacky-tacky plantation Christianity, where you have an amalgamation of all these beliefs and all these doctrines, and now they have come and confused the actual truth of the scriptures. Okay, so with that, I'll end the video right here. All praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'asham Yawashai, Ba'asham Raka Kodash, Wa Abad Babal, and through the Spirit, I hope you Akim Yakwasa edified. Shalom.